Alright, so Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you oculus out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going down the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you very few aquafers out there listening and learning. You very few sisters out there listening and learning. To you I say Shalom. Going back to the names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father name, which means He is or He exists. It's not Jehovah, not Allah, not God. His name is Yahweh, again, which means He is or He exists. Bahashem means coming in the name. And what the world ignorantly calls JC or Jesus Christ, His name is not Jesus Christ. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yeshaya. It's not Yehoshua. It's not Ashaya. None of that. All right. It's not Jesus Christos. It's not Billy Bob Joe. All right. His name is Yahweh Shai. All right. Which means He saves or He delivers. All right. So He is the Savior or He is the deliverer. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. It's your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another lesson. Now, I did this lesson, kind of like already, but it wasn't. It didn't pick up the voice. I guess it didn't. I didn't press the volume button or whatever. But it's cool though. But what we going into is, all right, when you got a lot of wickedness on the uprising, okay, it's a lot of wicked things and a lot of just like wicked evil things is going on in the world, all right, within the government and just within society in general and within these devils' minds. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, I got a still image. Basically, when you got people who who goes out protest or who riots, when you basically have a failed society, a failed government of some sort, or a failed type of community, or something that's going on, all right, just within the community or within a country, all right. So you see houses being burned down, and soon, America is going to be flattened and just going to be a complete desert and stuff like that. But while wickedness is happening and stuff like that, the truth, all right, they're gonna be speaking evil about the truth, all right. So we basically gonna be going into that, all right, while the wicked is doing what he's doing, and more wickedness is up on the uprise and flourishing and things of that nature. The evil is still gonna be evil is going to be spoken of as well. I mean, not evil. The truth is going to be spoken of, all right, as well. So as you can see, a lot of things, especially ever since the CK incident, they instantly went for the First Amendment. They going, making a whole bunch of things happening. All right, you really can't speak out against the blue and white. You know who they are. All right, the ones who rule the world. Can't say anything about them. They're making students pledge allegiance to the blue and white. Otherwise, you can't get an education. It's, allegedly. You can look it up yourself. What else they have? Oh, yeah, I want to show y'all this too. Might as well show y'all this quick video. All right, this is on my profile, so don't even worry about it. All right, hold on, give me 2 seconds because I meant to do this. Okay. My bad, y'all. Let me just go to this right quick.
This world is officially cooked. They're saying that men don't need women to have babies anymore. You ain't just hear what I just said, right? They're saying that they made a way for a man not to need a woman to have a baby anymore. And you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to this shit right here.
Baby without a woman's DNA. American scientists have created
What are y'all doing?
human embryos by putting DNA from skin into a donor egg. This new egg has just 22 chromosomes from the skin
What are y'all
cell,
doing?
and then can be fertilized by IVF with the 22 chromosomes from the sperm, making a full set.
A lot of y'all gonna jump on here and say the world is just advancing. I'ma say technology keeps finding a way to play with God. Mind you, scientists know, and they've said already that this is unethical. And the embryos that they're making, they're destroying. So what are you doing? If you're destroying embryos, isn't the embryos that
So you see what's going on. I skip it up.
You're not satisfied with anything. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? And then after you ask yourself that, ask yourself what would Jesus do? We're in a world where man continues to test his limits. You're not satisfied with anything that you've been blessed with. You have scientists trying to put our consciousness into robots so we can live forever. If we were supposed to live forever, don't you think God would have made that possible?
And what Jake don't know is JC ain't the name. And the people who he's talking about that's not satisfied is Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, and he was talking about, they're not satisfied and
y'all keep playing.
all this
Blessed with. You have scientists trying.
And then they were saying what he's blessed with. Well, Esau was blessed with the sword. All right, and that's how he rules. He rules with the sword. All right, he rules with weaponry, infantry, I should say, infantry, weaponry, whatever. All right, that's how he established his colonization skills or colonism, whatever the fuck. All right, that's what he do. He go out there, take people with natural resources, act like he gonna make a deal with them, and then fuck them over at the end. Been doing it to us for forever. When the fuck y'all gonna learn, man? But anyway, so I just want to show y'all maybe one or two articles. Like you got, you had some shootings that happened, some drive-by shootings that happened. I think it was at a university. All right, it was at a university. Another, which it was, it had ended up. One girl had ended up dying at some South Carolina. I'll just go to it. Fuck it. All right, some type of. Where is it at? I know I got it in here somewhere. No, I got digital ID. Let me type in South Carolina shooting. Here we go. All right, it says shootings at South Carolina State University have one dead. You're starting to see it's a whole bunch of more and more out. With Esau, Edom, his kingdom is falling, so he's going out with a blaze. He's going out with a blaze. It's South Carolina shooting. So there was another one. What is that? Montgomery or something like that. Let me. Yes, Montgomery mayor fires back at the attorney general at the mass shooting. All right, 2 killed, 12 injured. You see, so it's a lot of these things is going on. All right, it's a lot of Edomites, a lot of self-proclaimed white people just getting very, very angry and upset. But let's go ahead and hit some of these scriptures. I ain't trying to remake this long, but the last one I tried to do, I did not know it was going to be an hour and 30 minutes, and I do not like to go past an hour on my videos. So let's just go ahead and get into it. This is Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. It says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." All right? And we're waiting on this place to be completely destroyed, all right? Because this place is going to be completely flattened, and the only things that's about to be living over here are creepy, crawling things. All right, let's go to, like these. Okay, you got desert animals, right? You got desert animals. All right, you got types of things to be walking upon the earth, desert creatures, right? All right, Komodo dragons and shit like that. All right, the animals are going to have a big ass feast, from the ocean to the land to the fowls of the air. All right, it's Job 20:5. "That the triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment." All right, why? Because they know their kingdom is falling. All right, this is Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." All right, that's why you got a lot of things. And let's go to another one. All right, let's see what's just going on in Chicago right now. All right, it says Texas shooter, Slovakia. It says Texas troops. All right, it said updated 51 minutes ago. Texas troops head to Chicago as Trump weighs use of emergency powers. The president said he will consider using the Insurrection Act to bypass attempts to block National Guard deployments in Chicago and Portland, Oregon. The governor of Illinois, J.P. Pritzker, called the mobilization an unconstitutional invasion. All right, because you're gonna have people are going to be fed up with these motherfucking ICE motherfuckers trying to take them and shit. All right, you're gonna have the regular civilians just pushing up against ICE saying you can't take them, and so it's like, well, shit, you try to fight against them, then we'll take your ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. I know it's crazy, but we told you these times was going to come. And it says, here's the latest. It says National Guard troops from Texas were heading to Illinois on Monday after a federal judge declined to block them. As President Trump said he was considering using emergency powers to deploy military forces. A military official said 200 guard members would fly to the Chicago area this evening and begin operating there later in the week. A similar effort to deploy Texas troops in Portland, Oregon has been blocked by a judge for now. Only thing Trump got to do is be like, hey, the Insurrection Act, put it in that, 1806 Insurrection Act. All right, he can have, what, it was this one guy saying that he can allegedly have the ICE agents act like, I guess, like they're doing some type of insurrection act and then actually implement it, you know what I'm saying, and actually sign off on it, or whatever the case may be. So you got a lot of wickedness that's going on, right? And even when you go back to this, if they really go back,
we have an Insurrection Act for a reason.
We have an
If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up,
sure, I'd do that.
see, there you go. If governors, mayors holding this up and the people trying to fight back, hey, fuck it. You know? So this devil, he moving in fast, man. All right, he moving. All right, this is Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right, when you got all this homosexuality, all this cancer, all these diseases, the pollution, the earth is just mourning because it's so sick. The people are sick. The animals are sick. The bugs are sick. All right. And most of all, the people is sick. The sick, everything is sick here, all right? And you don't have good management skills. Esau, Edom himself, were playing white man. That's why this place is hell, and nobody likes you, right? You stink, and you don't never just stay where the fuck you need to stay at, all right? You're always trying to fuck somebody over, you know? And the power is in their hand to do so, all right? That's why you have all these riots. That's why you have all these ICE detainments. That's why you got all these detainees that's coming up missing. You got these detainees washing up on shores. You got them going from prison to prison. Don't know if some being taken out while they in the line going to another prison or not. Who knows? Now they're picking up kids in Chicago. Portland, Oregon look like a mess. LA still a mess. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got the power all in the world to end all this bullshit, but don't do it. All right, because they still want more. It says they covet fields and take them by violence. All right, you seen what they did to America. It says in houses and other places. It says in houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house and every man and his heritage. All right, and his heritage. All right, Micah 2:1 in the NLT, it says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out simply because you have the power to do so. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. All right, you've seen what the blue and white did to Gaza and what blue and white is trying to do to the other places that surround that portion of that land. All right, especially when it comes to these mosques and stuff. All right, these Amalekites. All right, Esau, Edom grandson Amalek, who is the blue and white people. All right, don't get it twisted. If they calling anybody else Amalek, it's not anybody else but y'all motherfuckers. All right, y'all going against the Ishmaelites. All the Ishmaelites and shit that's like that, Elamites and all that that's over there, is they going against the Ishmaelites and stuff. Okay, so a lot of they're trying to point their finger and saying that the Ishmaelites are Amalek, and they're not. Unless you was of course you're gonna have some mixed. I mean, not mixed, but ain't no such thing as mixed. But you're gonna have an Amalekite, Edomite, Amalekite go ahead and have sex with an Elamite woman or a Ishmaelite woman, and of course it's still gonna come out a fucking Amalekite at the end of the day. So it don't matter. Just got the features of a, you know what I'm saying, of a Ishmaelite or Elamite or whatever nation that is. The Amalekite decided to put his seed in, his disgusting, vile ass seed in that day or that night. All right. It says when you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. All right, and that's what they do. It says you cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. All right, you buy a house and think that it's yours. You know that shit ain't yours. That shit ain't yours. That shit belong to the bank, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Belongs to Esau, Edom. All right, behind every machine, there's a man. All right. Somebody created that motherfucker. This is Psalms. I get this in the KJV. This is Psalms 37 and 35. It says, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading themselves like a green bay tree. All right. The wickedness that they spread is crazy. Every time now, oh man. Yeah, the wickedness that they spread is crazy. Yeah, because, you even got kids that got to pledge allegiance to the blue and white. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they can't get an education. You got, you got to bow down and kneel to these people. Okay? It says, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. All right? And wherever wickedness goes, it goes with him. So, homosexuality, if he want to make that legal, all right, then everybody going, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people gonna start becoming homosexuals. All right, it just is what it is. All right, that's how he move around. I just showed you the video. This motherfucker trying to change the ordinances thereof. Okay. So let me let me get this. All right, so yeah, it's a lot of things that's going on out there. It's just completely just wickedness and evil. All right, and they trying to come against our people. It's Psalms 12 and 8. It says, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Who is some of the vilest men? I'll give you one of them. All right, quick. I'll give you a couple of them, but let's see. I'm going to go to this first one. Matter of fact, yeah, I think it is time. There we go. Let me see. Is it Haman? Yeah, it's Tom Haman. Here you go. This guy right here. All right, completely, utterly despise this man. This man is one of the vilest. All right, and they. Let me see if they. Okay, they got a quick AI overview. It says the person in the image is Tom Haman, the former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. It says he was appointed by President Donald Trump to oversee border control in his second administration. All right, and that's what he's doing now. This motherfucker, man. You talk about a fat fuck. All right, somebody that look like he's chewing on rocks. All right. Yeah, let me go to. I do want to get that. All right, then you got Trump and his team, DJ and his team. You know what I'm saying? You see how they look. You got Vance all the way on the left. Just a team full of devils. All right, that just is what it is, man. These the vilest men. Well, these are some of the faces. All right, these are just faces. These aren't the vilest men. The vilest men is the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Bergs, and things like that. All right, that's the vilest men. All right, but here goes some, the faces of it. You get a little bit of the face of what the people see on a daily. All right, but these motherfuckers is wicked too. All right, don't get it twisted. Okay, it's just that the Rothschilds and stuff like that is way beyond the wickedness of these damn devils. They all damn devils, but still. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 1 says, "For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not right, our life is not short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure." All right, now if you always look at Esau and Edom, all right, let me just, I just wanted to get that out right quick. And when I go to them, I always type in, "Wow, man." All right, the wild man. All right, when you look up the wild man, it says can refer to the medieval European mythical figure. No, it's not a mythical figure. It's you, nigga. You are the mythical. You are the beast. Ain't no fucking mythical shit. You the goddamn beast, motherfucker. This is Esau and Edom. Okay, self-proclaimed white man. All right, there you go. All right, Esau and Edom. All right, like I did earlier when I was recording. I think I typed in priest, and then the first thing that came up was some Edomites. Yep, this motherfucker. How can you trust this motherfucker to give your kids a church service or something like that? You know what I'm saying, man? Knock it the fuck off. All right, knock it the fuck off. Let's go back though. So it's Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 2. "For we are born at all adventure." All right, going back to Esau and Edom. All right, who hunts? All right, who never stays at home? All right, here you go right here. Esau, cunning hunter. Look at him. Never at home. Always, look, fucking with the animals. Why you fucking with animals? You fucking with a cheetah and shit. Killing bears and elephants and all this bull, like all these beautiful animals that the Lord created. You killing them off, and then we didn't kill them off. Let's bring them back so we can kill them back off, or let's put chips in them, or let's try to put some type of something in them so they can, you know what I'm saying, just bug the fuck out. That's why this devil gotta go. All right, it says but the Lord already got his queendom fallen. It says, "For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been." It says, "For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air, and our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance." That's what they think. "And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning." All right, now we know that the scriptures already say that reincarnation is true. All right. It says, "For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again." It says, "Come," but they don't know that they're going into captivity either. Right? It says, "Come on, therefore." It says, "Let us enjoy the good things that are present," and that's how they got Eve. All right, you give her a whole bunch of makeup, give her some government assistance, all right, and shit like that. You ain't gonna need the man no more. And that's what happened. Now they getting that shit stricken. Now they getting it taken from them. Now they over there looking crazy as fuck. And some of them still trying to be 10 toes down, saying, "I still don't need no man." These bitches is through. It says, "Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this." All right. So that's how it is, man. They want to live in a voluptuousness. All right. They want to live in a voluptuousness. They want to, like it says, "Let no flower spring pass by." It says, "Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds." All right. Crown of rosebuds is, what is that? Isn't that, let me go to this. Greek rose vine on head. Now you got this. All right. Let me see. All right. All right. They, a lot of this stuff was going back to like Greek stuff like that. Like whenever you see these, all right, or this, all right, that's what they was doing. All right, this how they was living. Okay. And they do all kinds of wicked stuff, walk around ass naked, be in the ass naked Olympics and shit. It's wicked, nasty, weirdo shit, man. People wasn't never doing that shit. Let me get this in the NLT. Psalms 12 and 8 says, even though the wicked strut about, the evil is praised throughout the land. All right. And yeah, when you got this devil in power, he gonna make it seem as though wickedness is normal. All right. He gonna make it seem everything that's backwards is right. While he's keeping you distracted, he's deleting the Israelites. All right. Psalm 17 and 13, it says, arise, O Lord Yahweh, against them. Let me get this in KJV. Psalms 17 and 13 in the KJV, it says, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand. O Lord, it says, from men of the world. All right. A lot of these people are of this world. All right. It says, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy head treasure. It says, they are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. And that's what they do. They take all the riches and stuff like that they got all the way from having our people backing, to be in captivity to this day. All the money that they have been making and been off the backs of our people, you know what I'm saying? They just give it to they family members and stuff like that. All right, without ever thinking about giving any of that shit away. Psalm 17 and 15, it says, as for me, I will behold thy face. In righteousness I shall be satisfied when I awaken thy righteousness. Okay. It's Isaiah 5 and 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. It says, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. All right, so exactly. Like what I said, a lot of people now they're trying to make it seem as though like what I was going back to with them sodomites and stuff, when you're scrolling on social media now, it's right there on your page now, man. It's right there on your fucking page. You scroll past it or you might be looking at TV, there goes some more sodomite shit. They playing blue and white commercials now. The fuck? It says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. All right. When we go out there on the highways and byways and teach and preach and stuff like that and say the truth, it's some people that get so offended they want to start fights, they want to throw things, spit on you and everything, man. It's all kinds of things. All right, that happens when you go out there on the highways and byways. But hey, man, that's just part of it. That's just a part of it. All right, and then it just is what it is, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon. All right, chapter 3, verse 4 says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. All right, and that reminds me of, man. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Here we go, right here. 1 Corinthians 1 and 21. Let's get it. Let me go to 1 and 18 right quick. It says, for the preaching, 1 Corinthians 1 and 18 in KJV, it says, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of the Most High. Verse 21 says, for after that in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. All right, because they have earthly understanding. They don't know. It wasn't given to them to know. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to them, preaching to save them that believe. All right, so that you got the men, women, and children that believe, and with the I'm gonna say starting off with the elders and apostles of great millstone on down, teachers like wise doctrine. They believe on what the prophets is saying. All right, and they can see it. They can see everything, how it aligns and everything. Okay, so let's go back. All right. Oh yeah. Verse 4 again. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 4 says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope for the immortality, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. Right? It says, as gold is in the furnace, hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And Esau, Edom, he doesn't have any part of this, and he's mad because of it. It says, and in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubbles. All right, that's going to be having spiritual power. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall rule over them forever. Okay. Let's see. Because what's going on, man, it's getting bad. Luke 6 and 21 says, blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. All right, so it's best for us to go through the things that we are going through. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company. You see that happen when you first got into the truth, and still happening to this day. I'm pretty sure it's still some bumping heads every blue moon. And shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. It says, rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven, for in like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. All right? Hey, that's what it's about. So, and again, man, a lot of this stuff that they doing and a lot of stuff that you see on the news be a distraction compared to the things they be having rolling out every fucking second. And there's more and more shootings, and there's more and more mass shootings every day. This place is falling. They're using ICE. Man, completely. Just sign up $50,000 bonus. It's crazy, bro. Like you just signing your life away. People do anything for money, man. In these last days, imagine like when the scarcity of food, man, is already like inflation and stuff is already. And when food start to really be off them shelves, man, you people are going to lose your fucking minds, dude. It's 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. It says, beloved, it says, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for this name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. And, Salakia, on their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. He's always glorified on our part. All right? Always. All right? I just skipped a couple chapters. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. All right, the brothers out there on the highways and byways telling you that we the Israelites, we in captivity. You motherfuckers ain't pay up, and so the Lord gonna come back and destroy your ass. All right, it's just, it's just that simple. And there are brothers and sisters that gotta wake up, repent, and try to get right. Get right as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Before everything get, way more worse than, what it already is. All right. The definition of bold, when you even go to it, just a quick one, it says a fearless before danger. All right. When you out there on the highways and byways, man, you don't give a fuck. Like before I came in this truth, I already told you. I've been said that. I was like, man, I ain't give a fuck about my life. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to this and being outside and having to teach and preach and stuff like that, I already had the confidence to do it. I ain't, shit. It is what it is, man. You just go out there, do what you need to do, get the mission done, go about your motherfucking business, you know. Cause the motherfuckers get mad and shit like that. I ain't had at the locations that I've been at lately, I ain't really had no scoffers or nothing, but it be some motherfucking weird looking motherfuckers over there though. I'll tell you that. This is Sirach 12 and 16. It says, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart, in his mind, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit." All right, he will weep with his eyes, but if he finds opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right, so you always constantly gotta watch this devil. That's why whenever motherfuckers like Elon Musk, yeah, ended up going silent for a little bit. You gotta keep your fucking eyes on them people. The people that go silent, they doing missions in the background. All right. Verse 17: If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Okay, he's still gonna be trying to get at your ass. All right, the Lord put that spirit on this devil to be like that. Okay, so of course he ain't gonna like you. It's Isaiah 59 and 15. It says, "Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey." All right, when you come to this truth, and the people that you used to hang out with and stuff like that, they might even try to hit you up and be like, "Hey man, come do this and that again," or whatever. You can't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You separate yourself from people that's wicked, or you separate yourself from being in a company of people who just want to be in this world and just want to see this world continue. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody just sit down with you and talk about the plans that they want to do in their life, I'd just rather not even talk about them. You know what I'm saying? Because, nigga, if this ain't your plan, I don't even want to talk to you about it. If we ain't talking about the scriptures or talking about the current events that's happening, you can fuck off. I don't give a fuck about what money you saying you about to make. I don't give a damn. All right? Because I'm ready for this place to go. Just like every other brother, or you will hope that every other brother will be thinking like that. Because being down here and being a slave, we had to go through it, and all of us deserve death, but we strive to try to be saved. It says Exodus 23 and 2, it says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment." Okay, so thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. All right, when all this chaos and all these when you be seeing all them ice raids and all them shits like that happen, get the fuck out the way. Get the fuck out the way. Go the other way. Avoid that shit. Don't be like, "Oh, we gonna rise up with pitchforks and shit like that." Don't do it. Your ass gonna fall into a trap. Esau gonna lock your ass up or throw your ass out in the middle of the ocean or put your ass on a different continent. You know what I'm saying? So, we not carnal people, man. We spiritual, all right? But you don't just let nobody put their fucking hands on you either. You know what I'm saying? But avoid that shit. All right, this is Matthew 7 and 13. "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that which go in thereat." It says, "Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." All right, you can't be a corrupt person trying to please the Most High. All right, this is Exodus 23 and 2. I want to get this in the NLT. It says, "You must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you are called to testify in a dispute, do not be swayed by the crowd to twist justice." All right, don't be like, "Oh, well, the crowd seems like they really agreeing with this, so I think I'm gonna go with the crowd." No, fuck it. Tell the truth. Be a man, nigga. Be a man, nigga. Anyway, let me get this. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 14. It says, "Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men." I keep telling you, Avoid it. See? Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. Pass away. It says, and pass away, bruh. It says, for they sleep not. It says, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause them to fail, to fall. All right? They can't sleep unless they destroying, they know that they destroying you at the end of the day. This devil can't sleep unless he know that he's successfully getting rid of Jakes, which is the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's sown by the seed of your father. No matter what your mother is. Your mother can be Asian, Syrian, or Persian. I don't give a fuck what she is. All right. Psalms 37:1. It says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. All right. So don't be like, oh man, you know, these motherfuckers, man, they got this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all some shit like what I'm talking about. That's all you gotta type in. Look, man, I got the boat. I got the Lambo. That's the Lamb. Look like a like off of GTA, the Zentorno. I forget what it's called though. But you got the Lambo. You know what I'm saying? He got the yacht, super yacht. You know what I'm saying? Look like a fast one. All right, you got people with money, standing on money and stuff. Even though if this AI or not, this is what Jake looks for. This is what people want. All right, people want. I want to learn how to be rich. I don't care if however way it is to make it to the top, fuck over people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just to end up in the fucking grave. This is Psalms. This is Psalms. I'm gonna eat me some after this. It's a Psalm 73:3. It says, For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their depth, but their strength is firm. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Okay, it says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Okay, and that's what you see. The pride compasseth them. All right, they think they can do everything. You know, they go about. You know, that's why they go out and they have these proud boy and white nationalists and white supremacists and things like that, and hand out pamphlets in neighborhoods of your own and things like that, because of the simple fact that they rule and they're mad that their place is falling, so they feel like they have to do something about it. So they go out in the streets and do everything. They even got it to the point that, you know, it's so divided that they got the people who are taken up for, you know, you got Edomites taken up for so-called Negroes and Latinos is going out there to protest and saying that this is bad and all this other stuff. Hey, well, Esau Edom is also coming against them too. They coming against their own people too. So it's like, you know, it's Satan is against Satan, man. If Satan be against Satan, then, you know, that house cannot stand, man. You know. Anyway, verse 6, it says, therefore the pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. All right, they work in violence, they love violence. It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish for, their mind can wish for, and they do. They have everything. They have everything, literally everything. See what I'm saying? All right, from a youth, what they say in the UK, from a youth. All right, from a youth, you see him with money. All right, and this is just an actor or whatever the case. All right, Home Alone in 1994. All right, but this was a Edomite, a little rich Edomite. You ain't gonna see no little rich nigga on no, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, verse 8, Psalm 73:8 says, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. It says, and they say, how doth the Most High know, and is there knowledge in the Most High? It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. Okay, the only one that's increasing in riches all right, is these Edomites. All right, they the ones that increase in riches off of our people. Okay, off of our people. So let me go back because I want to go back to this Psalms 37. This Psalms 37 and 13. It's yeah. It says the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. All right, it says the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. All right, we entering into some times that when I told, well, we already in them times that the First Amendment is being stripped away. All right, as we speak, you can't speak nothing negatively about the blue and white. All right, at all. Can't speak anything really about, I guess, the administration at all either, without you getting thrown away somewhere. Okay, so imagine if you're saying, all right, teaching and preaching the things that we are. Imagine the things that they want to do to you because of that. But the truth is already, it's already out there. So it is what it is. All right, but it says the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow and to cast down the wicked and poor and needy. It says, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. It says, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. All right, it says, a little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. All right, why is that? Because Israelites, at the end of the day, all right, we gonna have the kingdom, okay, and to be righteous and upright is to know and to proclaim and to announce this truth and to herald the coming of Yahweh Yahushua. All right. At the end of the day, and when it says their sword shall enter into their own heart, yeah, because they're doing all this shit against us and they trying to make all these plans and all these, they got all these ICBM missiles and shit. Well, these other nations got missiles too, and what they gonna do is they all gonna come up against America. It's gonna be a fucking wrap for this place. This place is gonna be destroyed by ICBM missiles and chariots, the so-called UFOs. All right, period. All right, so let me scroll down. It's 37, Psalms 37 and 38. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. Read Obadiah for that. It says, but because these other nations, they gonna serve, all these nations, they gonna serve us for 1,000 years, and then Esau, Edom, all right, they just gonna be completely just cut the fuck off. All right, that's why it says the wicked shall be cut off. Esau, Edom gonna be completely cut off, but the other nations they get a lot of they lands. Verse 39. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. All right, Yahweh, He is their strength in the time of trouble. Right? I think I still remember it. Ooh. Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. One of my favorite scriptures, man. All right. Them some bars right there. Let me go down. All right. So there you go for that 39. Verse 40. Psalms 37 and 40 says, and the Lord Yahweh shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. All right. That's the elect. All right. The elect trust in him. All right. That just is what it is. It's crazy. It's like all the things that y'all seeing, all this wickedness and stuff like that y'all seeing in the streets. I know y'all like, wait a minute, if your king or queendom is falling, why are you going against the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans if that's a in-house problem, meaning that's a so-called white-on-white problem issue, or a white on these other nations type issue, not on Negroes and Latinos, because Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been busting their ass. You know what I'm saying? So it can't, you know what I'm saying? But people don't think like that. It seems like people would be thinking like that, but I guess maybe they're like, it doesn't fucking matter. So this is, I got a couple more scriptures, then we're going to close. This lesson was actually better than the last one. I'm glad I did this one. This is Luke 1 and 68. All right, it says, blessed be the Lord God of Israel. All right, blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people. All right, let's get who his people are. Gotta do this just for edification. Matthew 1:21, and she shall bring forth a son, thou shalt call his name Yahweh, for he shall save his people from their sins. Matthew 2:6, in the next chapter, it says, and thou Bethlehem, I'll start at 5, it says, and they said unto him in Bethlehem of Judea, for this it is written by the prophet, and thou Bethlehem in the land of Judah are not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Okay, so let's go back to that Luke 1. Luke 1 and 68. Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by his mouth of his prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. All right, and that's Esau, Edom, and these other nations. All right, these other nations don't like. These other nations want. You got all these, like, you got a lot of Chinese women. I'm starting to see a lot of so-called Chinese women, or Moabite, Ammonite women, Japanese, whatever the fuck. I'm starting to see a lot of them potheads come over here, and they really want to have babies with Jake because their population is going down. All right, they're not having as many kids. All right, in China anymore. It's because of the men. The men aren't real men over there, man. I'm just gonna keep it a fucking 100. Ain't nobody want to be with no 5'3". You know, these motherfuckers, you know, these Moabites and Ammonites be working hard as fuck. You know, but they ain't got no swag, man. They ain't got it. They ain't got no flavor. They ain't got the salt. They ain't got the spice. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got that tang to it. You know what I'm saying? So now you got all these Edomite women, Moabite women. You know what I'm saying? These all these other women. It's like, man, I want hands on the so-called black man, or Latino man, or Native American. They don't want these other nations, man. They don't like their own people. They like, man, I want to be with a so-called black man, because when you look at America, the first thing you think about as a woman is, okay, the money and stuff like that. But they thinking about the niggas. All right, I ain't stupid. Like, if I'm looking at a country, if I'm looking at a country or some type of continent or whatever the case may be, where I'm trying to go, I'm trying to make sure it's some badass looking females out there. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure they bad. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they nice and, you know what I'm saying? Young, fresh, you know what I'm saying? 18, whatever the case may be, 18, 20, you know what I'm saying? They still got their V cards and shit. I ain't going out there, I'm looking for fucking old ladies, or I'm trying to go and find whores. I can find that here, you know? So you got a lot of women that's, you know, that's like, oh, I want to come to America, but a lot of them come to here because of Jake, because they want Jake. And a lot of our women don't want Jake. So it's like, you know, and these people ain't having no kids, man. This place is going. This place is over with, man. You know? Anyway. Let me get these last couple of scriptures and I'm going to close. Alright, but yeah, man, these women want you. Alright? You're better than gold to these women. Alright? They might, you know, Esau, Edom, they women the first one to tell you. You know? A lot of them still be, you know, haters and shit like that. But, man, you know what I mean? White women, the first thing, you getting a lot of so-called white men asking they women. You know what I'm saying? When I say they women, they race of women, the so-called race of women. All right, they going up to them, and before they, you know, they start to really get into it and really start dating, they're asking them, hey, man, you been with a black dude before? Because if you have, I can't. Basically, he ain't got no competition. You know what I'm saying? Because Jake got too much swag, all right? And Jake know how to make sure he lay down that wood good on these women. Alright? Because Jake could populate this whole motherfucker if it was up to him. Jake ain't gonna be with one chick. You can already see that now. This is 2nd Ezra 6:28. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. Alright? And every time we go out there on highways and byways and make these lessons, it is being declared. Alright? But the Lord, he patiently waits to punish these other nations. This is Sirach 2:1. It says, "My son, if thou come to the Lord," it says, "prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." All right, because when you go through all these temptations and stuff, it's only gonna get worse and worse and worse. Of course, you know what I'm saying, until Yahweh Shem Shah come back. But hey, fuck it, it is what it is. I'd rather go through that than compare to just just being looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient in the kingdom." It says, Salaki, it says, "And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him." All right? So there you go. You got to put all your trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Because you can't do it without him. Isaiah 33:6, Oh, man. It's 1 Peter chapter 6:7. It says, "Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season," it says, "if need be, ye are in heaviness." It says, "through manifold temptations." It says, "though the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shah Mashiach." All right. And in the NLT it says, "So be truly glad, there is wonderful joy ahead, even though you have to endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine, is being tested as fire tests, as purifies gold, and purifies gold." It says, "through your faith, though your faith," it says, "though your faith, Salakia, is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Yahweh Shem Yahushua is revealed to the whole world." All right, Yahweh Shah Mashiach is revealed to the whole world. All right, and of course we want the Heavenly Father and His Son to get that glory. All right, and that's all right. We work and we do this thing, so it's this is what we do, man. It's our lot. All right, we herald His coming. All right, to give praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, it's all up to Him. It ain't about us. All right, it's all up to Him. And then of course, through that, He gonna make sure we good. But so yeah, and then I did want to get this though, cause it was, what was that? It says we are forthwith punished. So let me get. Second. Yeah, 6:12. Let me get GNT. It's Second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 12 in the GNT. It says, "I beg you not to become discouraged as you read this book about the terrible things that happened. Consider that this was the Lord's way of punishing His people, not of destroying them. In fact, it is a sign of kindness to punish a person immediately for his sins rather than to wait a long time." All right, and these devils, all right, when Yahweh Shem Yahushua come back, they got so much iniquity stacked up. They just, it's ooh-wee, man, ooh-wee. So you don't want to be on that side, all right? You do not want to be on that side. But with that, Lord willing, this was edifying, man. This is basically like what I said, in the time of wickedness is going down, and what was that? Chaos and riots and shit like that. Let me go to one. Go to another still. All right. When chaos is happening in the streets, when you got shit like this, all right, because already places already is shut down, government shut down. All right. I think Italy has just France or something like that. Some has shut down. All right, so it's a lot of things shutting down because it's that digital ID is about to be implemented. It's a lot of people about to be buckled up against that, and then soon after, man, the MOTV, and then WW3, man. But you know, it's a couple more little, you know, one or two. You know, we waiting on this MOTV, man. You know, a major prophecy to happen, man. Then you can just count your seconds, man, before we out of here, though. All right, then you can just count your literally your days. All right, but with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory going to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Krakodash.